Hello everyone, my name is Michael and today I'm going to be covering the context menus on ServiceNow. As you can see, I'm on the incident list view, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering all of the context menus, so the list controls and the column options on this page, and then we'll head over to the form after and we'll do the same thing on there. All right, starting in the top left, we have our list controls. So as we click on that, we'll go from top to bottom. So we have our different views. So our different views are going to change which columns are going to show up by default for the user. So right now we're on the default view, but if we were to come over to indicators panel, you'll see those columns change. Let's go back to default. All right, next up we have our filters. So these are the different filters that have been built by the condition builder. And it's very easy to save a new filter. All you gotta do is just put in whatever conditions you need here. So you could do assigned to is Christian Mitchell. Right, then hit save. You would just name that condition, and then you can either save it for yourself, everyone, or a particular group. After you're done saving it, you would see that appear here under the filters. And another way that you could save your filters too is to, after you have them ran with our breadcrumb trail here, you would just save the favorite just by ensuring that your breadcrumb trail is correct. The records are here, the ones that you want to be able to see. Then you would come up here to the star. Then you can save your favorite. And I did one earlier, so just to show you an example, we have open incidents that belong to the business, the ServiceNow business service. So that's a quick way to save filters. You don't have to keep rebuilding them over and over and over and over. Back to, let's bring up all our records again. All right, next up we have is group by. So we can group by the different fields and columns. So let's say we want to group by the color. Just select that. It's going to show all the records that belong to Beth, Bo, Bud, etc. And to ungroup, just come over to that same that same column that you just grouped off of, and then you select ungroup. Next up is show. That's going to show the amount of records that you have on the page. Just to keep in mind, the higher you go, the laggier the page may get. Refresh list. If you have a list that you're on that updates often, you may want to refresh your list so that you have an accurate count. Create favorite just does the same thing we just showed with the star. So that's going to save a favorite of your page. Okay, next up we have the column options. So again, top to bottom. So we have sorting, A to Z, Z to A. Another option is just to click that column once or twice. If I click it once, it'll sort A to Z. If I click it again, it'll sort Z to A. So in case you don't have to click this, you could just click any one of these columns and it'll filter off of that. So if I click that, you see it filtered all of the, or sorted all of these based on the color. Visual task board. This is helpful if your instance, if folks on your instance maybe do sprints or projects and they want to create visual task boards and they can invite in multiple people into those visual task boards, then they can go in and they can have different lanes set up so that everybody's kind of tracking what's going on with those projects. Oops, I'll go back. Next up, we have group by, which we already showed, bar chart and pie chart. So if you want to build a report off the conditions that you built for your list, you can easily do that by selecting bar chart or pie chart. Interactive analysis will give you some more insight into what's going on with the records that you're viewing. You can set up different filters as needed. Configure. So these are going to be only available to admins, most likely. And these are just some of your configuration items. There's a lot here, so I won't go into all of them, but these are essentially only available to admins anyway. Import, if you want to import different records that you have for that table. So maybe you have a spreadsheet that you want to import into your incident table, you can. Export is very helpful if you want to carry records from maybe one instance to another, or maybe you're about to clone over an instance and you want to save a backup or a copy of some different data. So maybe you just created a bunch of new records, a bunch of new user records, and you want to save them before your instance gets cloned over. Just come over to export and you can choose the file type. I typically use XML though, just because it's really easy. So then you would export your XML file, and that would, if I were to do that right now, it would export all 67 records, but then it would only export the columns that I have up. So if there's any other information on those records that isn't say it's a column that isn't currently on here, that information is not going to get carried over to the XML record. And then once you're ready to import, you would just come over to import XML, and then you would select that XML file that you exported, and that would bring back in those records that you exported previously. Update selected, so you can update the selected records. You can update all the records. Data management, so that allows you to create update jobs or deletion jobs for the records that you currently have up on your list view. Application files, not sure what that does actually. We just talked about import XML, or you could show XML. Okay, let's head over to the form view. All right, in the top left, we have our additional actions. So again, top to left or top to bottom. And again, if we go back here, if you right click, that would give you the same thing that you got here with your list controls. So you just right click on the subheader, you have your views, your filters, etc. Okay, next up, we have our additional actions on our form view. So top to bottom, we have save. Same thing, if you right click here, you'll get all these same options, but I'm just doing it from this menu up here. Save, so save, obviously you want to save your record. Add to visual task board, so if you want to add this particular record to a visual task board, you can. Copy incident, that's going to clone your incident, so to create a copy of your incident that you have open. Refresh impacted services. Let's see, refresh list of business services impacted by the associated CI. Not sure what that does actually. Maybe it does exactly like it sounds. It refreshes the impacted services. Metrics timeline. I never really use this. Let's see. So maybe that just shows how long it was open and the states it went through, I'm guessing. All right, follow on live feed. So if you want to be able to follow that record, you can. So say this is a very important record, you want to get updates as quickly as possible. You can do that. So now I'm following this incident. Analyze access to the current record so we can see who's able to access this record. So it should be, let's see. Not sure what ACLs are in place. So this, like this is saying, this pretty much allows us to analyze what users would be able to even view this record. I never really used this before. So let's see if AbleTutter can access it. Blocked. Yep, so it pretty much shows all the different things that AbleTutter would be blocked on from on that record. So you see they can't save as a template, they can't delete it, they can't write on it, they can't edit it. And the reason for that is probably because it's closed. All right, keep on going. Configure, we just covered this on the previous page. These will all be some of the different functionality that you'd be able to do as an admin. Exports, you can export an XML of this record or a PDF. The view, if you want to change your view, you can. We'll get to that in another video. So the view is going to change the layout of that form. Create a favorite of that form. You can do that here, or you can click the star up here. Oops. Copy URL. You'll copy the URL of the ID of the record. Copy sysID. So that will allow you to copy the sysID of this record, which you'll find in the URL, and it's very helpful for scripting. Show XML, same thing. You can show the XML of the page. History, you can see all the different changes that were made to that record. So that's good for auditing. So say someone is making changes to the state who wasn't supposed to, you can come in and see who did that. All right, and then reload form if you need to. What else do we have up here? I guess we have more options. So email, you can email this record to someone if you want to. You can toggle on your template bar, which will appear at the bottom. So you can set up different templates for your forms. You can add tags. And I think that about covers it, guys. I feel like I missed one on the list view. Let me go back real quick. Oh, you know what? I don't know if this would be considered a context menu, but yeah, if you right click on one of the cells, you'll get some of these different options like show matching or filter out. This is another way you can set up conditions. So say we want to filter out short descriptions that contain YouTube tutorial, we would hit filter out and it's gone if you follow the breadcrumb trail up here. Copy URL to clipboard. So again, that's going to copy the records URL to clipboard. Same thing that would copy the sysid of that record to your clipboard. We could sign a tag. So say these are all Android related, we could sign that tag if you want to. Archive the records, maybe they're really old. You don't want them to show up in your incident view anymore. You want to archive them, you can. A quick way that you can assign it to yourself, you can just right click it, hit assign to me, follow on live feed, show live feed, add to visual taskboard. All right, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you want me to cover anything else about context menus, please let me know down in the comments below. If you also enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. Please also consider subscribing to the channel. Catch you all in the next video very soon.